Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to the latest episode of the TMSG show titled Who Gives a Fuck? I am your host, the Reaction Give King, and we have an amazingly jolly panel this week. Let's introduce them. We've got the quiet man.
What's up, everybody?
Whenever he was drinking, it was his mouth. Trying to say hello and swallow.
I got him completely unguarded. I got him unguarded when he was having a drink, and that's my apology because I wasn't looking at the Skype call when I mentioned his name. But it made for a funny entrance. We've got the Southerner.
What's up, guys?
And saving the best for last, the last for best. We've got Justino Bambino. It's been a couple weeks in real time since we've actually recorded. I'm actually glad we're back, but we're gonna get right back to it. This is the second part of the Morningside Group top 10 games of the generation thus far. To read the listeners as it stands in no particular order, the 10 games remaining on the top 10 are the following: Death Stranding, God of War, Monster Hunter World, who has lost its champion, so that's gonna be number 10 for sure, because just by default there isn't somebody to champion it. Zelda, Resident Evil, Zelda Breath of the Wild, by the way, Resident Evil 7, Gears 4, Witcher 3, Dying Light, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and last but certainly not least, Destiny 1. So, let's get right to it. Before the start of the show, Lee mentioned, our resident Southerner, that Destiny 1 was in fact number 1, and I can't fight it. It's going to be 3 against 1, and although I may disagree, it is. It's as right as it stands. It's number 1. Can we all? Can you three agree on that?
Yep.
We got 1. We got 2.
Here.
So there it is. Destiny 1.
It's also the one that came out and brought us all together too. So that's
It is.
why it should be number 1 on our group.
It is the game that brought us all together. I'm gonna take a stab just to see how the waters are. Dying Light number 2.
I'm down with that.
No. Yeah, it was a good game. It was
So-
not.
This is where we needed that Trader Marlin who left, because we would have had a tiebreaker here, a tie-breaking vote. But because we've got 2, because I'm with Lee, I think Dying Light would be number 2. I think if you use the same logic of one of the reasons why Destiny 1 is number 1 is because it brought us together. I think you can use that same logic for Destiny 2. It kept us together, especially in the early days.
You said
No.
Destiny 2, so Destiny 2
Sorry,
is not on this list.
Sorry, Dying Light 2. Dying Light 2.
What?
See, I would say that
Looking at the rest of the games on this list, and not everybody has played every single one of these games either. So I think Destiny 1 kind of fits that. Hey, everybody played it. It's definitely TMSG top number 1 game. Dying Light, it's up there, but I don't think it's number 2.
Huh. I'd argue it definitely deserves a spot. Actually that's a dumb thing to say because it's already on the top 10 list. But no, I'd still argue that it's number 2 because it's a fun game. Go ahead, Lee.
That's something else that we've all played together too.
Yep.
Compared to all these other ones we haven't played together.
And it actually fits that mold of Destiny 1 is something that we've played together throughout the years and throughout different times, throughout different places in time. And Dying Light fits that same mantra. I played it initially with Andrew and Lee. Then I played it with Justin. Actually, no, that's not true. I played it with Andrew and Lee. We stopped. We went back to it again, right? And then I played it with Justin. Then maybe like months later, I played it with Justin and Marlon, right?
I played with Marlon too.
Andrew as well played it twice. I remember he played it once. He restarted it. He played it again. And then I think he played it for a third time because I remember he was like, "Oh no, sorry guys, I'm not restarting it this third time." But he did play it with us and he helped us get the platinum. So again, it fits that same criteria. We have played it throughout the time, and it's a great game to boot. I know none of you guys will fight that it's a great game.
It's a great game. I agree. It is a fantastic game.
I mean, what would fit? What would go above it? If I had to ask Andrew or you, Justin, hey, it's not number two. Okay, so what's your number two in this list then?
Good question. My two is probably not going to be the same number two as everybody else, so that's the thing.
Let's hear it, Andrew. Let's hear what
And
your number two is.
my number two.
Oh, I know what it is.
Go ahead, guess. I want to see what your guess is.
Zelda.
There's a show coming out on it on the 20th.
Witcher 3.
Oh, then
what?
wow, he's throwing me off. Then
Wow. So it's Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Wrong again.
God of War?
God of War.
I could go with that, dude.
I could actually go with that because we all stopped playing with each other, so we can all individually play that game.
Except Lee.
Except me.
Except me. I did not play that game.
Except Lee. Of course, fucking Lee had to be the fucking black sheep here. And he's the whitest one here.
Man, that's a tough one, dude.
Like, I'm not one to really play single-player games with multiple playthroughs, but God of War was one of those games I did. And I just thoroughly enjoyed that game. It was just... Especially being a long-time God of War fan and everything, and then jumping into the God of War, the latest one. It had a lot of emotional, like sentimental, like character building and everything too. The world telling was awesome. Just certain scenes in the game, man, just like I'll never forget them. Like the first time you see the world snake, or the world serpent. I'm sorry. That first fight against another god in that game, like just those epic feelings that I experienced throughout that game there's no other game on this list that, besides Destiny 1, maybe like defeating a raid, made me feel, I guess, as much as God of War did.
Man, I could. I mean, they're all good. They're all good points. They're all good points. I agree with everything Andrew said. I mean, I loved God of War. I played it. I 100%ed it. I got a glitch. I wasn't able to get the platinum. So what did I do? I did the whole thing all over again, back to back. So I'm right there with him in terms of I played it twice, and it's got great spectacle. It made Kratos relevant, right? God of War was always popular with a subsection of the PlayStation community, but Kratos wasn't universally loved, right? A lot of people hated him. They thought he was one-dimensional, which he was back in the old games. But with God of War 2018, Corey Barlog over at Sony Santa Monica was really able to bring a different side of Kratos. I can't argue against it. I mean, I could see maybe Lee making an argument for Odyssey, because, again, just for the listeners, when I think of Odyssey, I think of Origins, and Origins, man, it's just such a special game to me. I love that. I love that game.
I'll be fine with God of War maybe number two.
All right, I'm gonna put it number two then.
And then Dying Light stays as number three though.
Let's see.
While he's editing, I'll do some background talking. So I says to her, no.
So I says, sir.
I can agree with God of War being number two. This being my actual first God of War game that I played through. I have watched scenes and clips and stuff of previous God of War games on YouTube, so I don't know the story like I played through it, but I kind of have an idea of what the story was from the previous God of Wars. It was always interesting.
Wow, thanks for filling in. No one cares what you have to say right now. Thanks for filling in. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. I'm just talking to myself. No,
but
good, but I think this God of War, I don't think, from what I've seen, this God of War plays entirely different than the previous God of Wars. Is that correct? They totally took a new spin to this play style of God of War, correct?
Correct. I mean,
I'm not saying
it was just like a really fast-paced hack and slash.
Was it considered like a side scroller? or something like that for the original God of Wars?
No, not really.
They were just like Andrew mentioned. They were hack and slash action games. Think of Devil May Cry, with the exception that you couldn't control the camera, and one of its notable traits was, hey, we're gonna take control away from you when it comes to the camera, but we're gonna be good enough directors that we're gonna show you these wide angle shots, these crazy panning shots, where you'll forget about not controlling the camera. It won't be an obstacle. And for example, I'm thinking of God of War 2, 2005, which was also Cory Barlog. There's like the shot when he's going after the sisters, that he's like climbing up this crazy ladder, and the camera just slowly just backs the fuck up all the way up, and he's like this tiny little ant on the screen, right? And you see like this crazy vista and shit. So there was a massive change when it came to gameplay, where it was like a tight over the shoulder third camera view, a continuous take. So yeah, when it comes to gameplay,
yeah, even when it came to loading, like loading scenes and all that stuff, like it was just a completely different style of game. Just yeah, it was pretty amazing game. I could accept God of War as a number 2.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking at this list, and I think the first. I should delete this one. I think the first 4 are pretty much settled. I mean, I would say Destiny. I'm okay with. I'm not okay with Destiny 1 being on the top, but I'm not going to be able to fight it in terms of votes. I think even if Marlon was here, I would never be able to fight it. And I want the listeners to know that as host and somebody who is going through this democratic process, I will continually say how I am against Destiny 1 being on top of the list, because I can't take it off. So you will hear me throughout the podcast saying it over and over again that I vehemently disagree with this choice.
Just so you guys know. Where would you put Destiny 1 then?
2.
What's your number 1?
What would you put as your number 1?
My number 1 would be either Odyssey or the first one that I mentioned, Dying Light.
Dying Light over Destiny?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you haven't completely woken up from your nap. Splash some water on your face.
Yeah, Dying Light. I love that game. I can't wait for Dying Light 2. That's one of my most anticipated games.
If you love Dying Light so much, we still haven't even beat the expansion. I mean, we bought the.
I'm down to go back, dude. I'm down to go back.
You know what? After this podcast, I'm gonna go download the game, and I'll take your word for it.
Which reminds us, we still got to beat Reach on Legendary, because that shit was so easy.
Oh my god, how disappointing! Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the game thoroughly. It was such a beautiful game, but oh my god, what, we beat it in 4 hours?
Yeah, I think it was like maybe like 6, dude.
Oh, okay.
So side note, me and Justin played through Reach in like literally one fucking sitting last week Sunday.
Yeah, I think that it was just one bottle of water I had right here. Usually I'm like, we played through Gears 4 a couple of times, and we were like stuck there for maybe like 12 hours. Which
reminds me, Gears 4 really should be like at number 8 or something, or 9.
Good one.
I mean, it's not going to beat Resident Evil 7. It's not going to beat Witcher. It's not going to beat Death Stranding. It'll just beat Monster Hunter World.
Before you
actually, I'm gonna put Monster Hunter World right now in 10. I'm gonna put Monster Hunter World.
Whoa, hold on there, buddy. Relax.
Who is gonna fight for Monster Hunter World?
I will fight with Andrew for Monster Hunter World to be above Death Stranding, because pre-nap we all agreed Death Stranding was to be number 10.
Nah, we're gonna be here all day, brother. We're gonna be all fucking day.
Yeah, well, Death Stranding ain't gonna beat Gears 4. I'll tell you that right now.
Right. Wait. Question. Since the 2 weeks we've been off, nobody has played Death Stranding. Nobody.
No, because that game's whack. If you had, you could have brought Xavier on, and he would have told you how Death Stranding changed his life. But
X wasn't part of the show to begin with. So
exactly.
Even if he would be an ally to me, it'd still be unfair to the rest of the guys.
Of course. But which I'm saying, not even that would help you here.
So
what we need is like
you
a
guys
Who
agree?
Wants to Be a Millionaire like phone line kind of deal, like phone a friend or some shit like that.
Do you guys agree with the top 4?
Um,
I should make it bigger. I don't know why I have everybody else's face here.
So I agree with 1 and 2. 3 and 4.
I would if Lee takes a stand for Odyssey, I'm backing him up.
I mean, I'm fine with what it is. So.
Even if Lee says Odyssey is a giant turd, I'll still back him up. Although it's not a giant turd.
Odyssey was actually one of the Resident Evil games I enjoyed since the Hit Seal collection.
mhm.
Oh, is that a brand new SteelSeries headset? It looks good on your head.
Yes, you can thank Justin for that.
No, you can
Yes.
thank Justin for that.
I did thank him. You should see
did,
the text
actually.
messages I sent him. I sent him like 3 or 4 thank yous.
He was like, "Thank you."
Yes,
please.
he did.
Like, I suck yo dick.
No, I won't go that far.
But you know what I will take? I will take Lee's backing on Gears 4 being above Death Stranding.
No,
Lee?
okay, so you can't buy votes. Bullshit.
Oh.
That's the rule. You can't buy votes. Still
What?
buying
Well,
votes.
either way.
Hey,
Death-
politicians do it all the time,
Gears
now,
4
man.
above Death
Right,
Stranding.
that's right. That's right. He's absolutely right.
He's right, but we're not politicians yet. Can't buy no fucking votes here. What kind of shit is that?
Of course they can. Of course they can, Lee. As long as I have your backing on Gears 4
right,
being above
so-
Death Stranding.
I say that Zelda Breath of the Wild belongs in above Gears. I think it's either number 5 or 6. I'll be honest. Witcher 3. I played Witcher 3 more than I did Breath of the Wild. I think I like Witcher 3 better, but I think Zelda belongs above Gears. Like my list right now, the way it is, I think the list is perfect. I could see Andrew make an argument for jumping Witcher to 4 and moving Odyssey to 5. I would battle that because I like Odyssey where it is, but literally up to 5, I think it's perfect. I'd have Breath of the Wild at 6, Death Stranding at 7, Resident Evil 7 at 8, Gears 4. No, I got it wrong.
Oh,
Wait.
look who just decided to
Oh
join
yes,
us.
our tiebreaker. Is he back? Are you
He's
back?
here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I was not able to make the race because Dalton is streaming and he's racing at the same time. So
Welcome to our fifth and final and probably most important member of the night, the Honduran heartthrob, coming all the way from Miami, Florida, the state where they shoot UPS drivers. Hey, rest in peace. Rest in peace to that UPS driver. His family.
Que come mierda. That's a great introduction. All right.
It is never too soon. When it comes to Goose, it is never too soon. I was making crispy Paul Walker jokes that very same night. What is that, Marlon?
Sekira's Blade.
Oh,
So
wow. We have our
basically,
tie-breaking vote who can literally shatter our current top 5 and say, nope, that's not the way it's going to go.
why is Monster Hunter World at the bottom? It should be on the top.
That's what I
It
said.
should be on the top, okay? It's after the Safi Jiva Siege, it is the best game that Capcom has ever made, better than Devil May Cry 5, all right? So get that shit all the way to the top and take
Just because
Word-
Capcom's number 1 game doesn't mean it's the number 1 game.
I know,
It's-
right?
it's the best. No, seriously, like I'm loving Monster Hunter right now. That siege is top tier. I'll tell you that. That dragon is a pain in the butt to kill, but it is top tier, in my opinion. So yeah, Gustavo, what is the tiebreaker that you guys have right now? If I may inquire.
So
Right,
as it
if you
stands,
if you listen to the podcast, then you can catch up.
You haven't even recorded. What are you talking about? I don't have a fucking time machine. Okay, if I did, I wouldn't be doing this.
We're live streaming right now, Mom.
Oh God, I'm gonna go back and go. Oh, what was the thing again? Witcher 3 and Gears 4.
No, our tiebreaker was Dying Light is number 2, or Gears 1.
oh yeah, so I wanted Dying Light at the first tiebreaker. Yeah, Lee's right. Andrew made an impassioned case for God of War at 2. I bought it because I could totally get behind it. But I wanted Dying Light at 2. They made an argument as to why Destiny 1 was number 1, saying, hey, it brought us together, and we've played it at different points in time throughout the years. And I said, well, you can sort of take that same thinking and apply it to Dying Light. It didn't bring us together, but it kept us together, and we have played it at various points in time with different members. So I'm like, that same logic sort of applies.
Destiny 1, as much as I would love to go with that type of nostalgia, type of rhetoric.
Wait, what are you going to say?
That Destiny 1, while it did bring us together, okay, you also have to take into the fact that Destiny 2 brought us all apart, okay?
Oh my god, that's a great fucking point.
You can make that argument and say Destiny 1 brought us together.
Let me
Destiny
tell you something right now,
took
man. I'm
all
going to stop you right there.
Hey, that's why Destiny 2 is not on the top 10 list.
But you could make the argument for that.
Right, he's right.
You could make the argument.
He's not right. The only one who really left Destiny 2 was Gustavo.
What are you
And
talking
then
about?
me.
He left
And
the
then
phone
Andrew.
Hey, I played a ton of Destiny 2. I don't know what y'all talking about. I'm just not playing the current expansion.
The only people who have stuck around in terms of like they were even regardless, because I think it's unfair to say that we left because everybody was in and out for a while, but for the most part, everybody really did stick. In terms of right when people would jump in, they would jump in. But I would say I think Justin is right. I left. I said I'm done. I'm like I love my friends, but I'm done with this game. I want nothing to do with it. It was like ugh. It's like that girlfriend that you fuck a lot, and then you just get tired of her, and she just disgusts you. I'm pretty sure you guys have had that. Like I don't want nothing to do with this woman. That's exactly what Destiny 2 became to me. I was like, I'm not dealing with that.
See, that's your problem, Goose. Is you have sex like a dummy.
You just basically burned yourself. You do realize that, right?
It's a good burn, though.
No, I don't have sex. I make love, baby. I make love.
That was so great. That was going as fuck.
That was
Make love.
Whatever. Look. What I'm gonna say this thing. Let's see.
Wait a minute. So are you advocating for Destiny 1 not being 1? I still think we get overruled. I think still 3 against 2.
Basically, what I'm saying is that Destiny 1, while I can understand the rhetoric that you guys have about putting it at number 1, because of that, you also have to take into account that because of Destiny 2, it wouldn't even be there had it been for Destiny 2. If we would have been stuck together and played this game for Destiny 2, I can see Destiny 1, 2 being top 1. But because of that, like that for me is like, okay. Looking at the entire list, yes, by default, Destiny 1 is the first one. But just by looking at the list.
Yeah, even if I don't want it there, I'll be like, I'm not going to, like, I could have fought for it. I could have just been like, well, I'm going to fucking filibuster for 30 minutes.
Like, for example,
they're kind of
any of these games could have become number 1 if we had played this as a team. Like, for example, if we would have played Monster Hunter like we played Destiny, it would have been there. We played Dying Light the same way we played Destiny, it would have been there. But for you guys talking about Dying Light for being versus God of War for being number 2 and number 3, as much as I want to advocate for Dying Light for being number 2, because of the whole, bringing the whole entire client together, being able to help each other out when they need it the most when it comes to playing these games, God of War as a package is just a much better game overall than Dying Light, in my opinion.
But are you okay with the top 5 currently as it stands? Because I'll be honest, I'm okay with the top 5 as it stands. All right, what would you change? What would you change then?
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I would probably put Zelda Breath of the Wild over it, but that's just me. That's just me because.
All right, okay, great. There you go. Why?
Because Zelda Breath of the Wild, it was a much better game in my opinion over Assassin's Creed Odyssey, because I'll tell you what, Zelda Breath of the Wild brought something to the Switch that it had not been done before in that specific console, as opposed to Odyssey.
It was a console release, wasn't it?
It wasn't just a console release, it was a console seller. Okay?
Yeah.
Zelda Breath of the Wild basically rejuvenated Nintendo and put it back into people's mind when it comes to how video games are done, and it rejuvenated the way that Zelda was played. Up to that point, Zelda was this linear, go around, do stuff. Breath of the Wild introduced the fact that you can go to the last boss in the game right from the get-go, as
That is
opposed
true.
to Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which was just building up upon the success of Origins.
Which revolutionized the series.
Yeah.
It
But not-
revolutionized
we're not
the series just
talking-
the way it revolutionized, just the way Zelda revolutionized. Sorry, just the way Breath of the Wild revolutionized Zelda.
Yeah, but we're not talking about Origins. We're talking about Odyssey. That's the issue.
It's the same thing.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing, dude.
Yeah, but the thing is, Assassin's Creed. Okay, how can you say? Well, you can make the con saying that we'll settle the Breath of the Wild
Released
was
on
only
Wii
for
U.
Switch, Wii U, and Switch, which you could say that because it was just a condensed market for Nintendo, it wasn't as big of a deal as opposed to Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which you could play it on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. So that's for me the only caveat that would I have. Like, other than that, I'm fine with all five. But for me, that was the only caveat.
I could get behind Marlon with that, because you could say all the other Zelda games, or every other Zelda game was different. Breath of the Wild just took a brand new spin to it versus Assassin's Creed. I mean, I'm a previous Assassin's Creed fan, 1 through 4 or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
But you're
Black
biased.
Flag and I'm not biased. I'm not.
Well,
I'm
no,
saying-
you are. The fact that you're like the biggest Assassin's Creed fan within the group, or either you are or you're tied for it, that lends you a bias against the new ones because you don't like the new formula. So your experience, like your veteran status with that franchise, has made you biased.
Right, but the formula for Zelda has also changed as well. So,
But has it really? But has it really though? Because it's changed relative to Zelda, but it's literally a fucking open world game.
Yeah, like you can make the argument for that to the point where Zelda
You
it
see
literally
his
You
is.
can make
Did you see his
that argument
stumped
about
face?
anything, pretty much.
Yeah, like, but here's the thing for me. Like, I could probably
was
see
like,
Zelda Breath of the Wild as number 6 as opposed to being number 8. Okay, that's the only thing that I could see.
No, I hear you. I said that. I said, hey, it should go above Gears and Resident Evil. I said that before you came in.
Like
I got some pushback.
I don't see how Resident Evil is better than Zelda, and I don't see how Resident Evil 7 is better than Death Stranding. But that's just my point of view. it's like, yo, like, what the hell? Like, I have not played Death Stranding. Let's get that right out of the get go.
I'm
I
a
have not
Tony
played
champion.
it,
I'm a
but
champion.
but I can see why people love that game. Okay, that game is not just a
big pile of trash. It's just a big piece of shit.
Okay, here's the thing though. There's how can I say this thing? This game embodies Kojima. Okay, Kojima likes
Oh God, Jesus
basically
Christ! Here it
making-
comes.
turning the way that people play video games on his head. He basically made a bestseller out of a freaking male game. Okay, do you understand? Do you understand what it takes to create something that people enjoy and have a fond memory of, by just releasing and delivering packages? Like, tell me another developer that can do that and pull it off.
Yeah, there's just a name behind it, bro. That's all it is.
No. See, that's the thing. Like, the same argument can be made for Marlon in terms of, hey, you didn't play it, but none of you guys have played it. Like, no one has fucking played this game, right? Like, I got Andrew to back me up last week or 2 weeks ago, right? And I was grateful for that. I'm not expecting that to happen this time around, but I'm like, none of you have played this game. Like, that is the craziest thing. And it's not crazy that you guys haven't played it, because I miss games all the time, right? I buy them and I still don't play them. But the fact that none of you have first-hand experience, and I don't care how many YouTube videos you've watched, that is not a substitute for first-hand experience. Hey, I've watched a lot of porn. That means I'm a fucking expert. No, it doesn't. Right? The same principle applies here. Look at Justin. He's like, wait a minute. Does it?
Look at Justin. Wait a minute.
Wait
You
a
tell me that
minute.
all those movies I've been watching in the
I loved it. I love that face.
Let me tell you right now.
If you're gonna tell
Pornhub
me-
says that they will plant a tree every 3 videos I watch. You tell me that whole forest that I plant outside of my backyard doesn't mean shit?
No, it does not mean shit. Okay, I'll be honest with you right there.
You have an addiction, bro. That's what that means.
I'll give you an example. Right. I'll give you an example as to why Death Stranding for me should be around number 7 or 6. You can make the argument against Zelda.
Yeah, I made.
Do you
It's
guys?
funny.
Do
It's
you
funny you
guys
said that. I made the argument for 7. I made that same argument. I said it should be 7 for sure.
like? Let me ask you this: has any of you played a game called Journey?
No.
Yes.
Just the
Ooh,
name
good.
alone is it
Like,
off.
let me ask you this: when you played Journey, were you expecting anything? The ending? Do you expecting anything about it? Do you expected that you were supposed to like? It was just basically walking from point A to point B. But the fact that the storyline was able to create something that's so monotonous and so mundane as just going from the bottom of the mountain all the way to the top of it, and it was such a thrill at the end. That's the thing for me. Like, that's what Death Stranding is. Even if I haven't played it, for people, they have look at this and they say, "Yeah, I can connect with this game because I don't see this as just as a person delivering packages. I'm seeing it as a person who's connecting other people in a situation where there's no more connecting anymore, where there's no more, where basically we're back to square one when it comes to civilization, you know. And this is like a, how can I say this? It's an experience that you need to play it, not watch it. And like many video games, I'm the biggest son of a gun when it comes to advocate when it comes to if you can't play them, watch them on YouTube, you know. But this specific game, you have to play it. It's like you play Assassin's Creed Odyssey, just like playing Destiny. The reason why Destiny is so fun for us, it wasn't because it was another shooter looter. It was because it was the first of its kind to do it right, and not just do it right, but do it to the point where you want to go back and play it over and over and over again. Death Stranding, I still have talked to people that haven't finished the game, and they're like, I want to go back, I want to finish all those packages, and I'm like, I want to go back and just see what happens next. That's why
I've heard of people going back just to set up zipline routes and stuff like that for other people
make it
to make
easy
the game
for other
easier for them.
people.
Yeah.
It's
I did that for 3 hours on a Sunday super morning, like 1 o'clock in the morning. I spent 3 hours setting up zip lines.
It's like, for example, when you go and when you look at the menu, you see people like saying, rating you, saying thank you, thank you, thank you. You don't realize like, oh, I mean, I was just helping somebody else, but hey, man, you made this person's experience with this game better because of it. You know, I was talking to Dalton and Gustavo the other day. Like, you guys are playing this game, but the way that you guys played at the beginning, by the time I play it, it's gonna be completely different. You guys are literally building an entire world out of nothing. You know, and there's something to be said about that. You know, I don't think any developer, let's say EA, Activision, Naughty Dog, they wouldn't have done that. They would have gone for the easy route of just, you know, either a shooter looter or say something like, you know, like The Last of Us 2, you know, a zombie apocalypse kind of thing. That's the people. That's what I'm saying, that it should be 7. As for the other stuff, I'm mad that Monster Hunter World is not higher than that, but I digress. I can understand that. I made my goal. My goal was to make it to number 10, and
To be honest, I don't feel Monster Hunter World should be 10. I think it should be higher.
So either.
Personally,
This is what I think. I think Gears 4 should be number 10.
No.
I think I'm gonna slight Justin in 2 ways, and that's not my intention, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to be number 10 because you picked it. That has nothing to do with it.
Sure.
I am the biggest Gears fan here, hands down. I don't care if you introduce me to the franchise. I am the biggest Gears fan in this group, hands down. That's it. It's undebatable. No, that's it. And I am advocating for this shit to be 10 because it didn't do anything new. Like, when I look at this list and I look at TMSG top 10 games, like, there's a couple of factors. I'm like, all right, it needs to represent TMSG. That's why I didn't fight Destiny 1, because out of all these games, independent of whether I wanted it or not, they're right. All the 4 guys are right. They represent TMSG hands down. There's no fighting against that, even if I wanted to. Right? There isn't. It's just hands down. That's the truth. But I'm like, man, what else does this list represent to me? Innovation, like revolution. And I'm gonna bring this back to Death Stranding, but that's one of the reasons why I wanted Death Stranding on the top 10. Like, I'll be honest, I would like for it to be 7. If it's number 10, I don't care, because just like Marlon, my goal was to get it on the top 10. I wanted this to be recognized, especially talking about this within a group that hasn't played it. Like none of my friends have played it. None of these guys here have played it. Not a single one. Right. So I was like, all right, my job is to make sure that this is number 10. But I look at Death Stranding and I'm like, this also represents TMSG because it represents being bold, being different, and being talked about, not being irrelevant. Because whether you like it or not, it's like the John Cena of fucking video games. Some people hate it, some people like it. Some people hate it, some people love it. There's no in between. There's no, oh, I think it's okay, man. No, it's just strong dislike and strong love. I don't want to say like Andrew or Lee strongly dislike it. I think they're neutral on it, more on the negative side, but still neutral. I don't understand Justin's hate for it because I'm like, you haven't even played it, right? I can see you saying, oh, I don't like it because of something I watched, or I'm neutral, but to just actively dislike it when you haven't played it, that's, to me, just I'm using logic. It's a little odd to me, but hey, everybody's different. But one of the things that I love about Death Stranding is that only Kojima could have done this game, and only Sony could have published it. Like, I've been playing games my whole life. All of us have been playing games our whole lives, and all we do in games is we dribble a ball. Well, right when it comes to sports, we drive, we shoot, we climb, we run. There are like these states in video games that you do, right? That we do repeatedly over and over and over again in a video game. There are these defined states: shoot, run, climb, fetch quest, whatever. But this game said, I'm going to do something entirely different. The core gameplay loop is entirely different. It is different. It is fresh. You ain't never seen this shit before. Maybe you have seen aspects of it, but you've never seen the core gameplay loop revolve around this state, as it were. And it pulled it off. And you can say, oh, I hate it. It's a UPS simulator, which I think is like the most reductive thing to say. But again, everybody's different. But it pulled it off because it's being talked about. I got it to the top 10.
I think it's only there because there's a name behind it. That's it.
But you haven't played it.
Anybody else's name could have been on anything else, and then nobody would have played it. But because Kojima has his name on it, everybody bought it.
I would agree with you to a point, but I know that the way that you're using it is just like, hey, that's just the sole reason, which I think is reductive. I do agree with you that it does have a bigger spotlight because it is a Kojima game, right? What I don't agree with is that it's just because of the Kojima name that it's got the spotlight on it. I think the hardcore gamers, the people on GAF, I'm not even going to mention that other place, but like the people on GAFs, the people on Reddit, like the hardcore gamers, they would have been like, they themselves would have brought it to the fore without Kojima's name, because they would have been like, wait a minute, this is different. This is you're right. It would not have the same spotlight, but the real hardcore gamers, they would have known about that shit. They would have known. It would have been a grassroots type movement, but they would have known.
I'll give you an example. Okay, and this is gonna be like really out there for some people, but let me ask you this: like, there's always a niche for this type of weird, innovative games. Like, if you told me back when I was growing up, back in the early days of the 90s, that you're gonna tell me that it's gonna be a game where the entire premise of the game is for you to, and this is nothing to do with Death Stranding, but this is just like an example, to do with tractors and simulating farming, I would have laughed at your face and said, nobody's going to play that. Nobody. And yet you have hundreds of thousands of people that play Tractor Simulator and they enjoy it. So the market would have been there. It wasn't just because of Kojima or something like that. Death Stranding would have been played by 100,000 people because it would have been like this hidden gem of the generation. It would have been like this great game, on the forefront of every video game awards show, but it would have been like a dark horse or like innovative gem that you would have played a long time ago. And that's the thing, like, it's not just Hideo Kojima making a game about being, a package delivery guy. It's about the fact that this world feels real. Okay? The people in it feel real. the connections that you make in the game without even having to talk to anybody. It is just the fact that
Marlon,
I found.
Have you seen this entire thing via gameplay? I mean, via YouTube videos.
Like, yeah, I seen
Yeah,
people
you
play,
have.
and I'm like, yo, like, what the fuck? Like, how do you like this stuff? And I'm like, wait a minute. The guy was like, here's the thing. Like, I was watching a YouTuber, right? He was playing Death Stranding, and he was complaining about having to trek the entire mountain, right? The minute he found some grappling hooks to be able to rappel himself from the mountain down, you could tell, like, there was this, like, oh, thank God. Finally. Thank you, whoever put this here. Thank you. And I'm like, yo, you haven't even talked to anybody, and somebody just left something there in the game, and it affected them, and it helped their experience better. You know, it reminds me of Dark Souls. When I'm playing around and I see like the messages on the floor, they tell me, hey, listen, hidden secret over here. And I'm like, yo, thank you. I needed that. And it might be a weapon that I've been looking for, you know. So I can understand that, you know, faceless, you know, interaction with people without having to actually talk with them or just, you know, having a face-to-face conversation. So it's not just Hideo Kojima. The game by itself deserves the praise that it gets, okay? Now, is it for everybody? No. Is it for somebody like Justin who enjoys Destiny and shooter looters and Call of Duty and stuff like that? Most likely not, you know? But for that Joe schmuck that says, hey, you know what? I really don't feel like dealing with, you know, multiplayer. I suck at it. I just want to play something that's kind of relaxing, kind of like, you know, that just is enjoyable for me. And
Death Stranding is not relaxing.
enjoyment,
Death Stranding is not relaxing. That game is not relaxing. That game fucking can boil your blood if you don't pay
Man,
attention.
there's nothing relaxing about Destiny.
you know, like, no, the loot box in Destiny. Like, hey, what I'm talking about, like, for some people, they rather deal with PvE monsters than deal with PvP, you know? And for them, they feel they have more control over that. And if that person feels like they have more control over that in Death Stranding as opposed to, I don't know, dealing with, you know, Destiny 1 multiplayer or dealing with Destiny 2 multiplayer, then I'm fine with it. I mean, think about it. Like, Destiny, why did Destiny succeed as opposed to Anthem, as opposed to Division? Because even though Destiny 1 was like a good game by itself, it also had a name behind it, which was Bungie.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah.
And the reason why even at the first days, like, think about it, Bungie really fucked up at the beginning of Destiny, you know, it fucked up in the beginning of Destiny 2, but they were able to right the ship. Now, you can make the argument for that, but at the end of the day, for us, Destiny 1 is a great game, you know? It wasn't just because of Bungie. It was because it was a great game by itself.
I'm glad. I'm really glad that you fucking came back for this show, because I that's a great argument that I wouldn't have thought of made. But now that you've made it, I think about it, and I'm like, you're right. Like, just for the listeners out there, up until this generation, I've always been a one console guy. I've never owned multiple consoles except for this generation. And last generation, I was a PS3 guy. So that meant that all the Halo games, I didn't play. I didn't get to play any of that Bungie stuff, but I knew who Bungie was. I knew they were a great developer. I knew they made awesome first-person shooters. So when Destiny was announced, Destiny automatically became one of the most anticipated games that I was waiting for on PS4, simply because I knew that it was from the people who made Halo. And although I hadn't played Halo, I knew that Halo was one of the best first-person shooters around, not one of the best first-person shooters around, if not the best. And right there, that sold me on it. Whether the game was good or bad, I knew I was going to buy it. I was like, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to try it out because it is Bungie. So
you buy games on sale, period. So your argument is irrelevant there.
Well, back then I was broke. Back then I couldn't do the things I do now.
If the game was $15, you would have bought it. How many games did you just buy Black Friday?
I don't know. I don't know.
Case in point. So your argument.
Like, let me ask you this then, Justin. How many games have you bought the entire year?
He's bought a lot of games.
I don't know. Just a handful.
I know you bought Call of Duty. I know you bought Anthem. Those two I know for a fact you bought them.
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts.
Do you bought Control?
No.
Yeah, no, man. He's like a middle of the country gamer.
I got like a handful of games as well.
Yes. So I'm like I said, with Death Stranding, it only got as much hype as it did because for Journey, for example, you just mentioned Journey. I didn't play Journey. Why? I've never even heard or made or whatever of Journey. So,
Well, to be fair, all right.
I
So
didn't get to.
not to
Journey
be
is
like,
just an indie game, though, by the way, so it's not like a big AAA title or anything like that.
yeah,
But
it's
it
not.
was, but people,
And
but
it
it was
doesn't
an
have to be.
enjoyable
It doesn't have to be a
experience.
big AAA title, by the way, either. It was,
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be
very,
a
like,
big
highly.
AAA
No, it
title to
does.
be enjoyable.
No, it does. But you know what? I could have slapped Kojima's name on No Man's Sky, and everyone would have ate that game up, whether in the state of it's in right now or when it was launched. You would have backed that game up 100%.
No. Let me tell you something. If Hideo Kojima was
That
in
was-
charge
that
of No
was a
Man's,
different
No
type
Man's
of
Sky,
game.
that would have never happened. Okay,
Mm.
that would have never happened to what happened with No Man's Sky, because first of all, Hideo Kojima has a little bit of level of like, you know what, we can't sell this stuff like at this state. No, it
How
has
is
to
No
be a-
Man's Sky off the top 10 list and it's still getting shitted on?
It made it to the top 10 shit list.
Lord, man.
You could almost make the same argument about like Anthem, to be honest with you. Hey,
Oh,
BioWare,
word.
this is awesome game developer, and then
Yeah.
that's what sold everybody on Anthem, and next thing you know, it crapped out. Like,
Wait, whoa. What sold Anthem for me was the supposed Destiny killer. As soon as someone said Destiny killer and everyone wanted to move on from Destiny 2 to the next thing, that's what sold it for everybody.
I gotta lie.
They
but
say that
for me-
all
for me,
that
that
is just publicity stuff, though,
Dude,
man. Like,
they
you
say
got to
that
advertise the
Batman
game anyways.
Arkham Knight.
I mean, if you have a big name behind a game, then why not use it to try to sell
Yeah.
more? So
Yeah.
I don't knock him for trying to use the name. I mean, it is his idea, his vision. So I'm not gonna knock it because of that. I just
I'll give an example.
simply I just got to play the game to be able to back it 100%.
Yeah.
And simply at this time, unfortunately, for Goose, I just haven't played it. So
Yeah.
I can only go based off of his word, and that's simply all I
It's not
can do.
enough right now.
Same argument about Resident Evil 7 here. I've never played it, so I can't back that game at all. Odyssey, I've only played Origins, but I'm not the biggest fan of the new style Assassin's Creed.
Thank you.
So I'm along in that boat there. The rest of these games I have played though. So
Here, I'll give an example. Andrew. He's Andrew, Lee, and Justin. Okay. These guys have played Destiny, Dying Light. I'm pretty sure they played Gears 4.
Yeah.
God of War. Well,
Okay. And you have played Monster Hunter World. Okay.
for
I
10
can tell
minutes.
you that you guys did not enjoy Monster Hunter World because,
I didn't Monster Hunter World. I just jumped back into Destiny.
but Justin
All right,
didn't
so
enjoy Monster Hunter World.
You should rephrase it. You didn't like it enough to stop playing what you currently were playing.
Exactly. That's
you
what
should
I'm
rephrase
saying.
it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it didn't stop them. It didn't keep them playing to just enjoy. For me, I enjoyed the shit out of that game. Okay, I
And
have
just
put
so
over
you guys know,
600.
this is why I stopped calling Marlon on the side. I don't call Marlon on the side because I give him bad ideas and he plays terrible games. Therefore, Monster Hunter World made it to this list. That's why I don't call Marlon.
Dude, we were thinking, man, is Monster Hunter World like this next Destiny killer app, man? You think we're gonna play this game a lot with the freaking clan? And I go, I don't know, bro. I can tell you that I have played some Monster Hunter World games, not Monster Hunter World, but Monster Hunter in general, in earlier iterations, and it has been a decent game. This game grabbed me by the balls. Okay, I want you to understand this thing. I stopped playing Destiny, which had like over 800 hours into that game, and I put 600 into this stupid ass game they call Monster Hunter World. Like, my friends all told me, "Oh, you only play Destiny. You only play Destiny. Like every night, you only playing Destiny."
And
Next
then
thing you
we
know-
said you only played Destiny and Monster Hunter World.
like, because-
Well, no. Now I say, now you play an even worse game. Go back to Destiny and drop Monster Hunter World.
here's the thing though, like, what do you like, Justin? What is something that you enjoy in video games?
Wait. Before we even get into I don't know what tangent this is going into here.
I'm going into tangent. of the fact that-
back to the top 10.
I know what I'm saying. Like, but the tangent I'm going is like your preferences dictate the type of games that you play. Okay, if you like RPG games, you're gonna go towards RPG games. If you like shooter looters, you're gonna go to shooter looters, and you're gonna enjoy them, regardless if the game is good or bad. You're gonna enjoy them. Okay, at least into a certain level. For me, I enjoy collecting armors and weapons. That's why I enjoy the Dark Souls series. That's why I enjoy, Monster Hunter, because I get to live out this fantasy of being a freaking knight. Whether it's with a bow, whether it's with a sword, whether it's a freaking, whip made out of freaking Devil Joe's ass. I don't care. It's something that I enjoy.
All right. So jumping on what
To the top 10, yeah.
I was gonna say jumping on what Andrew said. Let's go back to the top 10. But I just want to say to the listeners that we are all different gamers. Some of us have. I hesitate to use the word varied because that sort of implies like, hey, there's a group of players that play everything or have a knowledge of everything, and then there's a group who doesn't. And I don't want to break it into class divisions. Because I don't want to. I just don't like that. It makes me feel uncomfortable. We all complement each other, like in what we play. Like we have people who play just common run of the mill, and I don't want to say run of the mill. I'm doing what I said I didn't want to do. We have folks who just play like shit that everybody else plays, and then we have folks who play that and play other stuff, and then we have folks who try to play everything or who have some experience in playing everything, right?
Like
so
Lee.
It's not, exactly. It's exactly like Lee. Lee has surprised. Lee is the 2019 TMSG Gamer of the Year. I don't want to go on a tangent because I was gonna give him props, but I give him props because he has surprised me completely. He has played everything this year. This year he has been everything that I thought he wasn't. I was like, this guy's a one-note gamer. He plays the same shit over and over and over again. Boy, was I fucking wrong, right? And he has proved me wrong. And I'm so you have no idea how happy I am that he has proved me wrong. But we all play different. We all play different stuff. We all complement each other. But back to the 10 list. Gears 4 does not deserve to be number 6. I would want either Zelda at 7. So I would have Zelda 7, Monster Hunter World 8, because I know it's not going to go. I know Death Stranding isn't going anywhere. I'm okay with it being 10. So Zelda 7, Monster Hunter World 8, Resident Evil 9, and Death Stranding 10. I'm okay with that. I don't agree with it, but my job is done. I got it at 10.
I would put Death Stranding at 10, Resident Evil at 9, Gears 4 at 8.
There's no way Gears 4. Well, wait, actually, Lee. Because the reason Resident Evil 7 is here is because of Lee. Yeah. And Lee has played both. Lee has played both Gears 4 and
Originally, Resident Evil 7 was 2, but switched to 7 for backing. And what was the backing for again?
It was a
no. But what was the backing for again? What was different from 7 and 2? I don't remember what the. I think
the reason Lee asked for it to change, and we all unanimously agreed.
I agree too. I get that.
Is because we felt at least I felt that I would back 7 over backing 2.
But why?
Because 2 is a remake.
Yeah, there we go.
7.
Okay.
7 went back to its basically roots.
Yeah.
To me, the best Resident Evil out there is still going to be 4. But that's just because to me that's when it changed.
And Andrew left.
Andrew left. He could not handle that statement that Resident Evil 7 was better than Resident Evil 4. Said, I'm out. I'm done. Fuck this. We're done with this thing. I am done.
Quickly, while Andrew's not here, I would switch Zelda Breath of the Wild with Witcher 3.
He's coming back. Did he leave for good? Oh, he's coming back.
I think he must have crapped out.
He probably lost power or something. He's got that Tennessee internet.
Oh, man.
Hey, there's nothing wrong
No
with
offense to you Tennessee folks.
No, I love the Tennessee folks.
Tell your hamsters to run a little faster on that wheel.
I love that Nashville chicken, bro. That is some good chicken. Love that Nashville hot chicken. But even that, chicken.
But no, what I was saying about 7 was that it went back to its roots. Like, it brought the scare back into it. Where 5 and 6, man, it just completely lost out on that.
Dude, don't even get me started on 5. And 6.
Okay. You know what? I'm picking apart Monster Hunter World right now in my head because I didn't understand the menu system at all. That it was so confusing.
It was very confusing. I'm gonna give you that.
And just that alone probably just threw off my experience, and that's why I didn't want to.
But wait a minute.
Engage.
Can't you say that? Too. Can't you say that for all the games? Like, for example, ever since I beat Death Stranding, I've been dabbling in a whole bunch of stuff. in terms of I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try that, I'm gonna try this to see what sticks, right? And I've been given everything at least an hour and a half, right? And for example, I started playing Yakuza 0, and I'm like, man, this UI is difficult. But after 2 hours, I was like, oh, okay, it clicks. Now it's just natural. Doesn't that? I'm not trying to nullify Justin's argument by saying that it's not obtuse. I'm pretty sure that it is, but with time, you're gonna get it.
Oh yeah, of course. Unfortunately for me, I'm a now person. I'm not very patient at all. So
keep that in mind, listeners. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, I'm not very patient at all. So if I don't understand the menu system within the first 5 minutes, then I'm pretty much over.
Then do me a favor. Don't play Ni no Kuni 2 or Ni no Kuni 1. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Advice taken.
Number 3.
Hold on. Andrew just responded saying he can't join for some reason.
I just added
Oh, you did?
Here's the thing, though, and I'm gonna say this something because Monster Hunter World, it's very obtuse when it comes to menu systems. There is a lot of information that you have to go through to be able to understand it, and that's one of the things that, as much as I love Capcom and as much as I love the Monster Hunter World series or the Monster Hunter series as a whole, it is something that you just have to go through it because you're dealing with a lot of information. You're dealing with different types of monsters, with different elements, with different types of capabilities and stats. And it's just, for somebody like me who enjoys that and just has fun looking at the numbers and going, okay, that's better than that. That's better than this. Let's see what I can do. Gustavo and me have that passion when it comes to just, micromanaging stuff, And not a lot of people enjoy that,
Well, if I'm taking that, because I also played another great game, Dauntless. That menu system was incredibly more simple, but it still didn't get me enough for me to get hooked because, correct me if I'm wrong, Marlon, but Dauntless is essentially the same thing as Monster Hunter World.
Dauntless is basically
Monster Hunter World Lite. Is that fair to say?
Monster Hunter World Lite with Fortnite elements to it.
Yes.
Because in Dauntless, there is a season pass that you can basically unlock many items and weapons and stuff like that by paying a premium price. And since the game is for free, okay, there is no...
well, we're not even talking about the price issue.
I know, but what I'm saying is that there's no...
factor.
Like, for Monster Hunter World, there is the $60, that you already have to pay from the beginning, to experience it. With Dauntless, you don't have to pay that. You can just go in there.
I'm still whining about my $73 towards Anthem right now, Marlon. So let's not talk about price.
How about me spending $100 on Anthem to get that legendary collection items?
And it's selling for $4.99 right now. It's selling for $4.99. I could have got it for like maybe $3 with Gamers Club Unlocked.
Like, how do you feel knowing that we wasted $100 on a game that right now BioWare, it's doing its hardest to basically wash their hands off of and say, well, that was that. We shall not speak of that ever again.
Yeah, let's never talk about that horror ever again.
So, and I mean, think about it. There's a lot of games that fail because either it wasn't the right time for the game or fail because people were expecting something that the developers could not achieve or handle. With all the games that we have in this list, Destiny 1, God of War, Dying Light, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Witcher 3, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Gears 4, Resident Evil 7, Death Stranding, Monster Hunter World, and if I believe correctly, all of them were the creme de la creme when it comes to video games for their specific stuff, at least for the past couple of years. You can make the argument that Resident Evil was the best Resident Evil that we have seen in a while until Resident Evil 2 came out. You could make the argument that Gears 4, when it first came out, was better than Gears 1, 2, or 3.
No, that's not. You couldn't make the argument for Gears.
Some people could make it. Some people could make it. I'm not saying that you would make
it. Even when Justin played, even when me and Justin finished 4, he was like, "Yeah, 2 is still better," and I was like, "Yeah, 3 is still better." That was like one of our immediate reactions after we finished.
I just like all the new elements that they introduced into Gears.
So
completely.
Like every game here has brought something new and fresh to the series that is playing, or brought something new to the genre, or innovated a way that people interacted with each other. Like
I'm,
if you ask,
I'm looking at this top 10 list right now, and I'm fine with it. I mean,
I'm actually kind of happy with it. Just switch Gears and Resident Evil. That's it.
I literally moved some stuff right now as we were talking. But for the listeners out there, we have Destiny 1 at 1, God of War at 2, Dying Light at 3, Assassin's Creed Odyssey at 4, Witcher 3 at 5, Zelda Breath of the Wild at 6, Resident Evil 7 at 7, Gears 4 at 8, Monster Hunter World at 9, and Death Stranding at 10. I'm okay. Like, I'm looking at it, and I mean, I could, again, I'll be honest. Like, when we did the first show, I said a lot of it is, hey, how much are you willing to push and fight? And I was willing to push and fight for Death Stranding the last time we did the show, and I got it to where I wanted it, which is top 10. But I'm not really willing to fight. I'm just being lazy. I really don't feel like fighting for it, because like it's really like crying over spilt milk at this point. So I'm okay with it being at 10. I mean, I'm even okay with Gears being at 8, unless Marlon feels strong about Monster Hunter World or whatever. But I'm okay with. I'm looking at this list and I'm like, could I change something? Yeah, like if I really felt like fighting, I'd want Dying Light at 2. That's the only thing I really want. But besides that,
I see Andrew's back. What's up, Andrew?
So,
oh, okay. I think.
okay, let me ask you this, and this is the one thing that I want to ask to Lee, Andrew, and Justin, because I want to see this. I want to ask you these questions. Who? Because I'm pretty sure that Gustavo already made sure that he wanted Dying Light as number 2, but I'm gonna ask the three of you, why do you put God of War in number 2? You know what I like about it. I don't want to hear. I just want to hear your thoughts, at least in a more condensed manner.
I said my thoughts earlier.
Wait, what? I missed it. What? I missed it. What Justin say?
No. I asked you guys, like literally, I asked all three of them, like, what is your thoughts on the on this matter, like in a condensed manner, and all three of them started talking at the same time. I'm like, oh, what the?
Like, well, you asked all three. We all three answered it.
No, he said condensed. That's the key word.
Condensed. Yeah. Marlon, go back to the first half of the show before you arrived, and you'll listen to our answers why God of War made number 2.
Andrew gave a defense for it, which was I even backed. But the short and long of it was it had a great story, it had a great level design, and I even chimed in and said that it changed Kratos. It made Kratos a likable character, as opposed to before, where people always liked the God of War games, but they never really liked Kratos. They thought he was one-dimensional, which was kind of true.
Can we put Jedi Fallen Order above Death Stranding?
This guy is funny.
Trust me.
Wait a minute.
After what happened with Gustavo playing Jedi Fallen Order, that guy does not want to play this game. Know about it anytime soon.
I am just real quick side tangent. I am never above eating crow. Those who know me know that I will call myself up before anybody does. I won't let anybody hang over shit over my head. I gave Justin a hard time. I gave Justin a hard time over Jedi Fallen Order on chat, on Discord. I said, give it a shot. Just be patient. Give it a shot. You don't know how to play games. I gave him a hard time about it. And then I played it. And I played it on the second to hardest difficulty, which I believe it's Grandmaster.
Grandmaster is the first, and then Jedi Master is the second, and then Jedi Knight's the easiest.
So which one is the hardest?
Grandmaster.
So which one did I play? Jedi Knight?
Played Jedi Master. Well, you went from Jedi Master, and then you bumped it down to Jedi Knight, I believe, to the easiest one, right? The fight. What's her name? Krilla?
No. Yeah, I bumped it down to the second one, I think, because I was playing it. I was playing it on the third hardest difficulty.
Okay.
Which is Jedi Knight, right?
No.
Whatever. I was playing it on the third hardest difficulty, and at the beginning the game was rough, but I wasn't worn out by then. I was like, all right. I died a lot of times. I'm like, all right, I know what I'm getting myself into. But when I got I almost had a breakdown with Malicos. I got to the Malicos boss fight, and I almost broke the fuck down because I know I was parrying and it wasn't registering, and it pissed me off. And then I was like, no, I wasn't parrying. So then I got the hang of the fight, and I killed him like in 2 tries after like 20 tries, right? Because I finally got his rhythm. I don't know if it was me. I don't know if I just never got the rhythm of the last boss. I would like to think that I did. I would like to think that there were times that I parried that the parry didn't register. She was cheap bitch.
Yes.
Cheap bitch.
Welcome to Dark Souls. Welcome to Dark Souls.
I want to say it sounds like Lady Butterfly lately. In my recent history, Lady Butterfly.
Dude, Lady Butterfly was a bitch and a half, dude.
As fuck.
Dude, man.
And I was I couldn't. I'm like, I was banging my head against the wall, and it got to the point where I died. I don't know how many times. I died more than 20 times to this final boss, and I wasn't having fun. I'm like, this is bullshit. I am parrying here. What is going on?
Like, oh my god, dude! I'm not gonna lie, man. You probably are not gonna like Dark Souls or Sekiro or Bloodborne.
No, you're not gonna like Sekiro, man. Sekiro will make your blood boil.
By the way, Sekiro got Game of the Year. Just putting that out there.
Yeah. But here's the thing.
I mean, it was like amazing game.
It was a great game. Okay, Sekiro is a great game, but it does not. Okay, how can I say this? Sekiro does not represent TMSG. Okay, Sekiro represents Andrew and me. Okay, you don't care about you don't care about Sekiro. You care about Dark Souls.
I would have put a fight with Jedi Fallen Order versus Sekiro. That's for sure. Because I always played Jedi Fallen Order.
I enjoy watching Sekiro. That's all I can say about it.
Look, he enjoys watching Sekiro now.
I didn't want to play it. I literally watched Andrew play almost the entire game through it. So,
dude. Andrew, we've seen it, okay? Some of those boss fights are cheap as hell, man.
Heck yeah, man. Half the time, you got to be just as cheap. So that's a win, though. It's like, I cannot beat this person. And you start spamming some kind of environmental thing or, like, clipping someone through a wall, whatever you got to do to win, man. You got to do it sometimes.
Look, if you can't beat them, you got to join them, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you this, Gustavo. Was there multiple? How can I say this?
She changes. Style. She changes
style.
Really, yeah. Once you get like her thing. So once you get her to like I think like 1/4 health, she starts spamming this cheese ass attack where like she pounds the wall with this AOE attack, which if you don't jump at the right time will just devastate you.
Okay.
And the thing is, you can see the animation coming, but she can pull it out of like. She could pull it out her asshole. Right? I don't know. You're like, how is your body like this? And you just pull this move. It doesn't make any sense. How is that fair?
All right, I'm gonna ask this.
She does this lunging move where it's pretty much an automatic death, where she'll grab you, choke you, and then she'll toss you, and that's it. It's over.
So I'm gonna ask you guys this very specific question: is there multiple phases to the fight? What do I mean by that?
Like if you defeat the boss and then like all of a sudden they got like a full health bar again. Yeah.
Oh no, we're not gonna have a Sekiro monkey type slice head off type. No, we're not having that.
No, that is Sekiro. That is Dark Souls. That is everything that if you're not used to that type of bullshit, let me tell you, it is the most aggravating shit that you have ever tried or played in your entire life. Do you understand what it's like? Like, I finally beat this guy. Yes, it's over.
And boom, phase 2.
Wait, why are you getting up? What? No.
No, I'm just real sorry to the listeners. This is a conversational podcast, so you're gonna have to bear with us. But I watched some of Sekiro, and there was a guy who was live streaming the monkey fight, and I guess like Andrew and Marlon, he was like a veteran of the Souls games because he was struggling with that monkey, and then once he killed it, that he chopped its head off. Like his first thing, like he wasn't like ecstatic about it. At first he was like yes, but then like immediately he was like, what the fuck? Why am I not getting but the boss killed thing? Huh? He was like, oh no, this better no, you don't get up, monkey. And
the monkey get up holding his head. It's like so mad.
This guy was so mad.
Look, I'll give you an example.
I knew it.
I'll give an example. So, in Dark Souls 3, there was a DLC that was basically in the original Dark Souls there is a painting world of Ariamis, and basically at the end of the painting world there is this boss. Basically we call her like the fluffy dragon. Uh, and in Dark Souls 3, there was something akin to that. There was like a reprisal of the world, the painted world of Ariamas, but it was the painted world of Ariandel. So at the end of this level DLC, there was this boss lady. She's wearing a sight, and she's holding a sight, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, okay, so it's just you gotta deal with her. I beat her, and then I just see like this huge dude in the background, like getting really mad. I'm like, wait a minute, I just beat her. Why are you getting up? And I beat him, and I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm over it because I'm so used to two-face battles. When that bitch revive itself, and dark flames are pouring out of the fucking ground, and everything else is turning into shit, I'm like, 3-stage battle. My NPCs are dead. I'm half hell. I got no Estus Flask. I still have to beat this stupid thing all over again. Let me tell you something. I threw away my controls. Done. Nope.
Oh,
nope.
You knew that you were gonna die because you were like at such a disadvantage.
I was like, nope, I'm done. I stopped playing Dark Souls 3 for a week and a half.
Actually, before we move on, let me ask you guys a question, both to Andrew and Marlon. When you guys play those games, now that you guys know, right? So, for example, like let's say, for example, you're facing that monkey, and you don't know that he's gonna revive, right? You don't know that he's gonna go crazy with his chopped head and shit, right? You don't know that yet. But as a veteran of the series, right, you can see some stunt being pulled. Do you guys prepare for that? Like, do you go all out on that first battle? No, not knowing that he's going to come back, or you're like, you know what? Let me play conservative. Let me keep some of my resources on me just in case something like this happens. You guys play like that when you now
really.
For the veterans? No,
not really. I mean, you never know if that's going to be a 1-phase or 2-phase or even 3-phase fight. Sometimes it could extend even to that point. So the thing about those games though is always a trial and error type thing. So you do everything you can to win that first phase. Boom, you find out now there's a second phase. Now you're likely going to lose. So that's that error. Now you have to start over, and then now you're preparing to try to master that first phase even better to have more resources for that second phase, and then carry on to that phase. So like
these are character building games, fellas.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you how my strategy when it comes to Dark Souls or Bloodborne or Sekiro or basically FromSoft games. If there's a fight and I beat him, I get a static, right? But if I fight him and I beat him and then he revives himself because there's a second phase to the battle. You know what is the first thing that comes to my head when that happens? Okay, I am dead. I'm going to lose this fight. There's no ifs or buts about it. I'm going to lose it. How long can I last this without any of my resources? Yeah. And how much can I learn from this specific first fight? Okay, how much can I learn from this guy? And if I can learn as much as I can from the first fight, I'm like, okay, it's going to help me with the next fight. Sometimes...
Hell, you might get lucky. Hell, you might get lucky and actually beat them. Sometimes you don't.
I mean, it's just like sometimes it just gets to the point where it's like, okay, he's almost dead. I've been battling this guy for 25 minutes. I am dead. He's almost dead. Oh my god! And then he just does some cheap shot and kills you in one shot, and you're basically and I got it all over again.
That's
for example.
That's Souls games. That's from software for you.
Before we get back to the top 10 list, I'll tell you my experience in Jedi Fallen Order. I didn't know you can get extra health stims throughout the world until I beat that Jedi, or not that Jedi, that anti-Jedi dude at Dathomir. After I
Malicos?
Yeah, Malicos. Yeah, I didn't know that. And I was like, dude, there's no way people beat this game with only 2 health stims. And turns out
because you didn't backtrack.
And then I turned on the game and I turned on my computer and I looked and I was like,
why does he have like 6?
Yeah, I was like, this guy has like 7. Like what? What?
Damn, bro. I think I have 5.
I can imagine that being pissed about that. Like, here's the thing though, like the games at the end of the day, whether they make you get really mad or they make you like get really frustrated. At the end of the day, after the weeks and months pass by, and you look back on the situation that you put yourself through it, you laugh about it because you're thinking, okay, that was my fault. Like for me, when I go back and look at my footage from like I don't know, when I first started playing Destiny 1, and I'm like, and I was you could hear it in the audio for the background. So I was like, oh my god, how could he shoot me? I had him first. How? Why? And then look back in the video and the footage, and like, yeah, he got it from the first place. He already had me on his site the minute I popped in, and it just makes you go, you know what? I was mad at the time when it happened, but now looking back on it, I can laugh about it. And I think at the end of the day, that's the healthiest thing you can do.
It's experiences like that is why Destiny 1 made it to the top list. I mean, think about it. With all the raiding that we've done together, just day in and day out, going to work, coming back home, wanting to raid, making sure our strategies were intact. Because you know what? Everyone got the Vex Mytho class except that one person. But guess what? We're gonna get that one member who didn't get the Vex, his Vex Mytho class. We will get it for him.
I'm really happy that Justin has pivoted this way because let's close this out. Let's close out this list, and then let's talk about why Destiny 1 is number one. I actually like this topic before we just stop the show here. Is everybody okay with this list as it stands right now? I'm a yay right now, by the way.
Yeah, I'm a yay. Yeah. I'm good for it.
Yeah.
I'm a JPK motherfucker.
There it is. There it is. We have it now. The TMSG top 10 games of the generation thus far, ranked as follows. At number 1, we've got Destiny 1. Number 2, we've got 2018's God of War. Number 3, Dying Light. Number 4, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Number 5, we've got Witcher 3. Make sure you check out that Netflix special on the 20th. Zelda Breath of the Wild. Yep. Is number 6. Number 7 is Resident Evil 7, which is kind of ironic and fitting. Number 4 is Gears of War 8.
No, number 8.
Number 4. Number 8 is Gears of War 4, which is kind of cool because 4 and 4 make 8. I have a thing for numbers. Number 9, Monster Hunter World. And rounding the top 10, Death Stranding.
Barely made the list. Barely.
But it made it. It made it over Division.
That is true.
Actually, I wish I would. I got to go back to Division 2. I got to go back to playing, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm in a rut again. I beat Death Stranding. I'm in a rut.
I remember buying Division 2, waiting on somebody to play it.
Yeah, I wonder who that fucker was. Oh God, that guy.
If you're okay with skipping Borderlands 1, Lee and I are making a run through all the Borderlands right now.
Oh yeah. I know. I forgot to congratulate you, but I did give you a like. But I saw that you got it. Congratulations, by the way. But why is Destiny number one? I'm glad that Justin mentioned that because it, besides bringing us together, right? Let's move over that because everybody knows that, hey, this is what brought us together. This is the game that the nexus, as it were. But
driving a truck, coming home every weekend just to play the raid.
Didn't it have like a song? I used to have a song. Fuck, I forgot the name of the song.
My name's Lee Collins.
Driving down that road.
Hi, my name is Colin, and here I'm watching Destiny Radio. Dude, that would be funny if Lee would have been like a streamer over there. Hi, everybody, this is Lee playing some Destiny. Let's play on my truck right now. I was like,
yeah, there's so many memories. I mean, there's so many memories. I'm glad that Justin said that. He's like, everybody had a role to play. Everybody had a responsibility. I remember for Vault of Glass, when we had it down pat that we would run it every week with like multiple characters. I remember I had this Dead Orbit Void Fusion rifle. And I had ranked it up to like whatever highest light level it could go at the time. And I was in charge of when we would get towards the end, when you have those minotaurs that come in through like the portal with the void shields, like that was my responsibility to take them out. And I took that job so serious. I was like, I can't fail because if I fail, then the guys on the right and the left will be screwed.
Well, you also had self-res, so you were relying on that too.
Yeah, self-res was really helpful back then, man. But when you switch to
the relic runner and all that.
Yeah, Lee was the relic runner.
What else? This guy, he was the one that really helped us clinch the Dark Below, Nick. right? He was the one that used the idea of, oh, let me hit him and go blind, and then that fucker would pull like some Dark Souls move, and he'd somehow see him when he was blind and still hit him. I don't know how.
Oh, you mean invis, not blind?
Invis. I said go blind.
Yeah. Well, basically, what would happen
was
Nick's strategy was like really good, but think about it, it was a really high risk one, where basically you were supposed to hit him a couple of times, then take away the sword, and then go with Kepler's Sting or something that will make you go invisible, and then knife the guy. And I'm like, yeah, half of the time that doesn't work. Okay.
We tried so many strategies out though. I remember like one of them, the purple boobies strategy. I remember that one. We tried so many different things, man.
I remember we almost had that one done, and then Goose goes back and runs in and get killed.
Yeah, dude, I felt like I had left the team. That was hard. I never forget that moment because I was like, fuck, we lost because of me and shit.
The funniest you got the Hunger of Crota. He's like, it's as strong as Gallahorn.
Oh my god, he used to swear up and down, dude, that it was stronger. I'm like, what is this?
I didn't say it was stronger. I said it's strong.
It's just as strong.
It's just as strong.
That's what he was saying. Strong as Gallahorn. Or like,
he was saying. Yeah, that's true. That's true. He never said it was stronger. He said it was just as strong. Yeah. I'm like, get out of here. No.
That's like, here's the thing. That's like saying the Mets are just as strong as the Yankees. And you're like, yeah, brother, that doesn't work. That doesn't work.
Not yet. Not until 2025.
Remember, Jacob?
Fire.
Dude,
fire.
Blows himself up.
When we finally got Logan his Hawkmoon, actually we got it for him playing Vault. It was Vault of Glass. He finally got his Hawkmoon, and then he was so nonchalant. He was like, "Oh, okay." What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, okay.
He liked Thorn better, so.
Yeah, he did. By that time, he was already used to Thorn. I remember Logan would get so mad. I would just like to put the mood back into place. I was like, dance with me, Logan. Just dance with me. And then our characters would just dance together. And I'm like, come on, Logan, dance with me.
He would rage once he threw his headset. Like, so he had quizzed me. He was like, dude, what's a good headset? I'm like, the one that I have. He's like, how much is it? I'm like, it's X amount. I'm gonna buy it. He bought it. And like, I think like 3 weeks later, he fucking threw a $300 headset across the fucking room. I was like, yo.
Because it was talking about the thorn and the burn.
Like, yeah, that's right. Because he
was so mad about
Was it with Bray? Did he argue with Bray?
I don't remember who were arguing what, man. All I remember was, it's the burn. It's the burn.
Okay, here's the thing. He was complaining about getting killed in PvP so repetitively, not because he was losing the fights, but because they would shoot him with Thorn, they would run away, and the burn would kill him. It's like, I keep losing because it's the burn. It's the burn. I was like, yo, bro. I was like, fucking get out of here.
Yo, because that gun was like 2 shots and you're dead. You just
I hit him with my Hawkmoon. I hit him too. He took me out with the burn. Like,
he was like, the burn.
What's taking you out? It's the burn. What's taking you? It's the fucking burn.
Oh man, I love Destiny. Destiny 1 PvP though. Man, I love that. Trials, I miss the heck out of that.
Oh yes.
All right.
Trials.
So here's the thing for me when it comes to Destiny, and I remember this in the Dark Below. We were all doing that whole pattern. We were supposed to be outside of the room where the Crotus Crystal is. We just go outside, and then we go all the way to the back of the room. We're like sitting behind the freaking glass. And if you're not careful, basically the thrall would hit you from across from behind the glass.
Yeah,
and I just
behind the glass.
And I just hear Justin going, something hitting me. Something's pushing me. Something's pushing me. What's pushing me? And he falls down. It's like, what's pushing me?
And that was basically how Juice was killed. The thrall came up behind the glass.
What killed me? Like the thrall. Like some of the situations that has happened to us in Destiny. I'll give an example.
Do you remember when we defeated the sisters and everybody died on me? And then I was like, son of a bitch, I gotta do this by myself.
I'm not gonna lie, that's when Justin gained my respect as a man, dude. So for the listeners out there, like when Justin first came to play with us, it's not that I didn't like him. So Justin's always been the same way he's always been. He's never changed. He's just very loud, rambunctious, a very, very lively person, right? If you haven't noticed, I'm not that, right? If anything, I'm the complete opposite. And when he first started playing, he was just like same guy, just talking a lot of caca, but playing. I remember, oh my God, Justin, what was that weapon you had? I remember you had a colored auto rifle that you used to use all the time, dude. You remember it? It was a legendary. It was a legendary. It was like purple and blue and red.
Yeah.
That was his auto rifle for the longest. That was he rocked that for the longest time because they had some rolls or whatever.
Wait.
What are you
saying?
It was a legendary.
Yeah, it was a legendary.
Purple, blue, and what?
It was purple, blue, and red.
Red.
Purple, blue, and red.
But anyway, so when we
first, what
was it?
No, Athens Epilogue? It wasn't Athens Epilogue, right?
It was no. It had the same frame. It was the same frame, but it was the same frame as Athens Epilogue, but it was a different color. But anyway, we finally beat the Death Singer, right? And we all fucking died. Like literally everybody was dead except Justin. He was the only one that was alive, and he literally freaked out. He freaked. He was like, "Oh my God, what am I gonna do? I don't know, guys. What am I gonna do? Oh my God!" I was really nasty. I was like, "Stop being a fucking bitch. Man up. You're the only one alive. Get it done. Get it done. Just kill them. Take your time. Do whatever you need to do. Kill them." And he did. He came through. He killed them. He killed every single one of those ads little by little. I think we were there like for, 40 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. I don't know how long we were there for.
Oh, relax. Maybe like 20 minutes at the most.
We were there for a while until he killed all those. And it was a lot of ads, man. Like the whole room was. Because all we did was we went in, we rushed, and we killed her with Gallahorns. But we worried about the ads later. But I don't know how he did it. He killed all the ads and he got us through to the final boss. But I was like, in my head, I was like, okay. He got some brownie points. That was I love that moment. That was great.
For me, I remember one thing. It was like there was a couple of raids that for me were just the epitome of Destiny. Number one was, we all know Walter Glass. Number two, the Zamboni with Wrath of the Machine. Okay. It was those points where those freaking raids were like either they make you or they break you. Crota, well, as much as I love it, and it was like great raid overall, it always felt to me like a big strike. It never felt like it was very, mechanically heavy, as opposed to like, I don't know, Taken King and stuff like that. But I remember quite clearly when we're doing the sisters in the Taken King. I remember, oh my God, I was like so stupid. Justin tells me, okay, guys, we're going to be doing this. We're going to be meeting in the middle. We're going to be inside the bubble. And from the bubble, we're just going to shoot them. We're going to kill them. Right? Right. Where do you want us to put it? Well, where I put the bubble, you guys are going to be in there. And he puts the bubble like in the freaking middle of the field. Not even nowhere near the guys. I was like, what were you guys doing? You guys were supposed to be in the middle. Well, why do you put the bubble there? That's that bubble from leftover. I was like, that wasn't the bubble. It's like, yo, what? So somebody had put like a Titan bubble there. It's like, I went to the Titan bubble. No. It's like, yo, you guys.
King's Fall was probably my favorite raid because I think every raid before that needed like a hero. Like there was always like, all right, we have the hero, the one guy who has to do something, and maybe Vault not so much, but Crota for sure. But with King's Fall, like everybody needed to be on point, especially for the sisters. Like you couldn't say, "Oh, we have this one guy who can just run around the platforms, right?" To go on around the sisters, whatever that section was, I forgot. But everybody needed to be good at that because it picked you at random.
Yep.
It's gonna be me.
And then we knew. Yeah, remember that? And then we were so mean to one another. Like I don't want to mention any names, but there were people who were like not really good at it. So as soon as they were picked, we were like wipe.
It's like wipe. I remember this time. Look, I remember this time they picked me and like just wipe. We're not letting White Sun do this stuff. No, he sucks. Just wipe. Like I haven't even tried it. Let me give it a shot. Fine, we'll give it a shot. And I did it fast as fuck. And he's like, okay. And I go, Justin, where do I need to put this up? In the front. What front? In the front, motherfucker. And then we lose and like, okay, that's it. Next time I'm doing it.
That was my favorite things.
No fucking patience with all, man. No.
Yeah,
patience.
when somebody who wasn't good at it got picked, we would just like automatically wipe. I'm like, that's mean.
Wipe. It's like it will pick Lee, and it's like, okay, that's it, wipe. Like it will pick me, wipe. It will pick Justin, and then everybody like wipe. It's like, hey, I'm the one running this stupid thing. I'm the good one here.
And we know that there were times where somebody didn't get their ogre, but they wouldn't say anything. But we know because it would blow up. But who didn't get their ogre?
Like number 3 didn't get the ogre. Who's number 3? I don't know. Nobody's number 3 at that point. Nobody's number 3.
It's not even just us within the TMSG that we met, because we've also met everybody else, as like, as far as Kenneth and Julio and and all of those other guys with like Dante, Xavier, Mikey, Tony.
Guys across the pond, Joe Boy, Boston. What was his name? Was it Boston?
Yeah, Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero was his name.
A whole bunch of people that we met. But just going back to those ogres, I remember there was one time where I think me and Justin were opposite each other, and Justin was like, "Did you get your ogre goose?" Yes, I did. So why are you still shooting?
I caught him in the line.
I remember one time where I don't know what was. I don't exactly know what was it. Was it a Wraith or I don't know, Walter Glass or something like that? But it was a point where everybody was just getting really mad, right? Everybody was just getting really mad, and I just hear Gustavo, "Yeah, it was me. I messed up. What about it? What are you gonna do about it?" It's like we just want to know if you messed up or no. Like
that definitely sounds like me. That definitely sounds like me, dude.
Like we just want to know if you did your stuff or not, buddy. Man, we're not really getting mad, but like I think it was Julio who basically says like, "Who didn't get their stuff?" And Gustavo was like, "Yeah, it was me. I didn't do my stuff. What are you gonna do?"
I don't know. We can ass sometimes, dude.
I think that's the reason why we love Destiny, because even regardless of what happened with the game, regardless of the things that Bungie had to fix or not fix, the nerfs and the buffs and everything like that, it was an enjoyable experience because we got to enjoy with our friends, and I think that's probably the reason why for us in the list is number 1. I'll tell you this, man. Any of these games, if it would have united us like Destiny did, it would have been number 1 on the list. Dying Light could have made it. I don't think Death Stranding would have made it because it's a very solitary
nobody
game.
played it. Yeah,
it's a very solitary.
I'll make you a deal, Gish. You buy it for me, I'll play it for you.
Dang.
I'm good. You could keep not playing it. I'm good.
I'm not gonna buy it for you, brother. Like, no, brother. Like, you play it. You have to enjoy the stuff.
Wait a minute. Do you? All jokes aside, do you own God of War? Because you really should play God of War.
No, I don't.
Should play it.
It's gonna be God of War 2028, the remake, and Lee's gonna be like, "I haven't played the original remake of this game. Okay, so what makes you think I'm gonna play this remake?"
I'm waiting for the next God of War. God of War. Is it gonna be called 2 now? I don't know.
we're hardly gonna God of War 2021. I
don't know, man.
I don't know.
I feel like here's a little side tangent. What do you guys feel about naming stuff in video games? Like I remember like when Mega Man 6 came out, I thought to myself, 6.
We're the first 5.
The first 5. Like what the? And then I went back and I'm like, wait a minute, Mega Man 1 is Mega Man, Mega Man 2 is Mega Man 2, Mega Man 3 is okay, but Mega Man 4 was technically Mega Man 2 in Japanese, and it starts getting like really weird, right? So when I start looking at like, for example, the God of War, then God of War 2, then God of War 3, then God of War Ascension, then God of War, what was it? Change of Olympus?
1, God of War 2, God of War 3, Change of Olympus, Ghost of Sparta.
And then they go, okay.
The mobile game, can't forget that one.
And then we get just, okay, fine, that's it. We're going to go back and go God of War. And so what's going to be the next one? God of War, Loki's, masturbation. I don't know, man. It's
wow.
Like this, it's
you went there.
It's all I can tell you is that when it comes to video games, I feel like naming should be simple and easy to understand.
Yeah, you know who has the worst naming convention is Xbox. Like we talk about this pre-chat. And first you have Xbox, then you have Xbox 360, then you have Xbox One, then Xbox One S, then Xbox One X, and now introducing Holiday 2020 Xbox Series X.
I think PlayStation nailed it. PlayStation nailed it with 1, 2, 3, 4. It makes sense. Just that's it. People know.
Yep.
The only thing I could think of with the series thing that might be a good idea is like if they have multiple variations of the Xbox Series X, they could call like Series Y,
S.
Z, or something like that. I don't know, different series versions that maybe like had different specs to them or something. I don't know, but
yeah, I mean, I think Andrew's right. Most people have been saying that. I mean, I agree 100%. That's what it's got to be. It's got to be more than one.
I mean, so if anything, I'll bring up a pre-chat. Gustavo, Marlon, how sexy is the Xbox Series X?
You mean like
sexy
a tower?
As fuck.
First of all, the Xbox Series X,
The XX, the XX.
the Xbox Series X.
From X-Bone to X-Sex. You gotta love it.
Gotta love it. I like it, but the thing that for me that just makes me like laugh about the whole situation was the fact that you have a lot of. This is what fanboyism does to you, okay? The Microsoft fanboys were looking at the Apple Tower, the new one that came out. It's like, oh my gosh, it looks like a cheese grater. What the fuck? Yeah. Who would ever buy that? Who would ever buy that? And then when Microsoft comes up with the Xbox, oh my god, it's so sexy. Oh my, I want that in my living room. And I'm like, you're a piece of shit. You know that, right? It's like you have Microsoft stick up your ass all the way to the fucking throw, bro. Like,
I mean, right now it's looking better than the supposed PS5 right now.
Well, no, I mean, we don't know what the PS5 is yet.
The PS5 may look bad, but here's the thing, though, and I can never knock down on a console without looking at the specs and without looking at what it has
and
to offer.
That was a dev kit, by the way. I can promise you guys, going out on a limb.
Of course.
Look, have you seen the dev kit for the GameCube?
No,
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Look it up online. The Dolphin looked like a fucking MacBook PC from the 1980s, okay? That's how bad that shit looked. And the GameCube was, quirky, but it was a powerful system for its time, and I liked it. Dev kits are not representative. Dev kits are not representative of the fucking end product, and Gustavo has been beating this horse to death for a long time. So
what is that noise in the background? Is that you, Marlon?
Yeah, that's me in background because my parents love.
They're watching a scary movie.
So.
Okay,
nah,
no worries.
Scary movies, brother. Not scary in my house now. That doesn't fly with these people, man. That does not fly with these people.
It does not fly with these people. All right, Buffalo, go ahead.
So what I'm saying is this. Look at this ominous music that is behind me as I'm about to present to you the Game Award of the Year for TMSG. And it is Sekiro. No. Dude, I fucking hated that fucking Game Award show. That shit was boring as fuck.
It was boring, dude. After that Xbox One X reveal, I wasn't interested at all except for the gear stuff.
Lord, my.
All right, well, I think
the nuns are trying to kill me from the background.
Wait, are they watching The Nun? No, I thought you said it was no. Anyway, I think that brings us to the conclusion of our show. I just want to reiterate our top 10 games of the generation thus far. Coming in at number 1, Destiny 1. Number 2, God of War 2018. Number 3, Dying Light, which really should have been 2, but okay. Number 4, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I have written down as Ass Creed Odyssey. That sounds like a porn movie. Number 5, Witcher 3. Number 6, Zelda Breath of the Wild. Number 7, Resident Evil 7. Number 8, Gears of War 4. Number 9, Monster Hunter World. And saving the best for last, rounding the top 10, Death Stranding. I want to thank everybody for tuning in this week to the second part and conclusion of the TMSG show. Let me look at what... Listeners, I forgot my intro and I X'd out the window that has the outro. So with that, have a great night or evening or morning or afternoon, and au revoir.